I never thought the day would come when my own daughter would hand me a gift, and I had feel my heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. That day, I learned that sometimes the cruelest wounds come wrapped in pretty paper, tied with a ribbon of shame. My name is Robert. I am 73 years old now, and I have lived what most people would call a simple life. I worked as a school janitor for 42 years, not glamorous, not prestigious, but honest work that kept a roof over our heads and food on the table. My wife Margaret and I raised our daughter Sarah in a small 2-bedroom house on the edge of town. We did not have much, but what we had, we gave freely. Margaret sewed Sarah's clothes by hand. I fixed her toys when they broke. We saved every penny we could for her education, skipping vacations and new furniture so she could have opportunities we never did. Sarah was brilliant. She graduated top of her class, went to college, became a successful marketing executive. She married David, a corporate lawyer, and they built a life that looked nothing like ours. A big house in the suburbs, expensive cars, designer everything. We were proud. God, we were so proud. But somewhere along the way, something changed. It started small. Sarah began correcting the way I spoke at family gatherings. She would wince when I told stories about my janitor days. When her friends came over, she would introduce Margaret and me quickly, then guide the conversation elsewhere. I told myself I was imagining it, that I was being sensitive. Then came my 72nd birthday. Sarah insisted on throwing me a party at her house. "It will be nice, Dad," she said over the phone. "Just family and a few of our close friends." When Margaret and I arrived, the house was filled with people I had never met. David's colleagues, Sarah's boss, couples in tailored suits and cocktail dresses. I was wearing my best shirt, the one I had worn to Sarah's wedding, but I felt out of place the moment I walked through the door. Sarah greeted us with a tight smile. "Mum, Dad, so glad you are here." Her voice was strained, performative. The evening felt strange. People made polite conversation, but their eyes glazed over when I mentioned my work. One woman actually asked if I had done anything interesting with my life. Margaret squeezed my hand under the table. Then came the gift ceremony. Sarah stood up, clinking her glass, her face glowing with what I thought was love. "Everyone, I want to take a moment to honor my father on his special day." My heart swelled. She walked over with a large wrapped box. "Dad, you have worked so hard all your life. You have sacrificed so much. And I wanted to give you something that represents a new chapter." I opened it, my hands trembling slightly. Inside was a bright orange safety vest, the kind construction workers wear, and a brand new mop and bucket set. Professional grade. Expensive, probably. The room went silent. Then someone laughed, a nervous, uncomfortable laugh that rippled through the crowd. Sarah's smile did not waver. "I know how much pride you take in your work, Dad. I thought you would appreciate quality tools." But her eyes told a different story. There was something cold there, something that said, "This is what you are. This is all you will ever be." I looked at Margaret. Her face had gone pale. I forced a smile, thanked Sarah, and set the gift aside. We left 20 minutes later, claiming Margaret was not feeling well. In the car, my wife cried, and I sat there, holding that steering wheel, feeling something inside me crack. "She is ashamed of us," Margaret whispered. I could not argue, because I had felt it too. The months that followed were quiet. Sarah called less. Visits became rare. When we did see her, there was a distance, a wall she had built that I could not climb. Then one afternoon, my friend Joe called. "Robert, you need to come down to the hospital. It is Sarah." My blood turned to ice. Emma, my 9-year-old granddaughter, had been in a car accident. Sarah and David were there, but Sarah was falling apart. When I arrived, I found her in the waiting room, her face buried in her hands, mascara running down her cheeks. David stood nearby, on his phone, barking orders to someone about a work deadline. Sarah looked up when she saw me. For a moment, I saw the little girl I had raised, scared, vulnerable, needing her father. "Dad." Her voice broke. I sat beside her, said nothing, just held her hand. Emma came through surgery fine, a broken arm, some bruises, but she would be okay. But something shifted that night. A week later, Sarah showed up at our house unannounced. She stood on our doorstep, eyes red, looking smaller than I had seen her in years. "Dad, can we talk?" We sat in the living room, the same room where I had helped her with homework, where we had watched Saturday morning cartoons, where she had told us she had gotten into college. "I am sorry," she said, and her voice cracked. "I am so sorry. She told me everything. The pressure to fit in with David's world, the insecurity she felt about her working-class roots, the way she had convinced herself that distancing from us would make her seem more successful, more worthy. That gift, she could barely say it. I do not know what I was thinking. I was trying to make a joke, trying to show everyone that I was comfortable with where I came from. But all I did was, I hurt you. I humiliated the man who gave up everything for me. Tears streamed down her face, and then Emma got hurt, and David barely looked up from his phone. And I realized, I had become someone I do not even recognize, someone who valued appearances over the people who actually loved me. I let her finish, let her say everything she needed to say. Then I spoke. My voice was soft, but steady. Sarah, I have scrubbed floors for 42 years. I have cleaned up after thousands of kids, been invisible to most people, been looked down on by plenty, and I never once felt ashamed, until that night at your house. She flinched, not because of the gift, not because of what you gave me, but because I saw that you were ashamed of me, of your mother, of where you came from. I paused. But here is what I have learned, sweetheart. Success is not measured by the size of your house or the car you drive. It is measured by how you treat people when no one is watching. It is measured by whether you can look at yourself in the mirror and feel proud of who you have become. Sarah was sobbing now. I forgive you, I said, but you need to forgive yourself, and you need to teach Emma that kindness, humility, and love matter more than any title or salary ever will. She hugged me then, really hugged me, the way she used to when she was small. That was 6 months ago. Sarah and David are in counseling now. She has set boundaries at work, started showing up more for Emma. She visits us twice a week, sometimes just to sit and talk. Last Sunday, she brought Emma over. My granddaughter ran up to me, her casted arm covered in colorful drawings. Grandpa, Mom told me you used to clean schools. That is so cool. You helped kids learn in clean, safe places. I looked at Sarah. She smiled a real smile this way. I am teaching her what really matters. Dad, she said quietly. You know, life has a funny way of teaching us lessons. Sometimes karma does not arrive as punishment. Sometimes it arrives as a mirror, forcing us to see who we have become. My daughter learned that the hard way, but she learned, and me, I learned that forgiveness is not about forgetting the pain. It is about choosing love, even when it hurts. Because at the end of the day, family is not about perfection. It is about showing up. It is about second chances. It is about remembering that the people who loved you when you had nothing are the people who deserve your love most. That orange vest, it is still in my garage. I have not thrown it away. Sometimes I look at it and remember that night, but mostly I remember the morning Sarah came back, the morning she chose us again. And that, my friends, is worth more than all the fancy gifts in the world.